welcome in tonight to a special edition of the Cavalier Connection. With me tonight is Jack and Jay. And why is tonight a special edition? Well, tonight is our inaugural episode as we have joined up. I know we've been teasing it for months and everybody's been so excited, but this is our inaugural episode as a part of the College Huddle. The College Huddle. Go to thecollegehuddle.com. We are your voice of the Virginia Cavaliers for the College Huddle. You won't see any other Virginia Cavalier podcasts up there on that website. You're going to see the Cavalier Connection. We are the voice of the Virginia Cavalier fan, and we are excited to be here with you all and represent the College Huddle. How is everybody doing tonight?
Doing great, Jeff. Doing great. Excited to finally get to announce our partnership with the College Huddle. And it's been a long time coming. This started coming together months ago. And a lot of work's been going on behind the scenes by some very dedicated people. And just happy to be a part of it and represent the fans for the University of Virginia.
Jack, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I could not be more excited for this College Huddle. Like Jay just said, this has been coming on for a good while. And we've been teasing it on X, on YouTube. And I'm just, it is such a great thing to be able to have a big, I don't know if you'd want to call it organization, but a big group like this that has representatives from so many different colleges, for them to all come together, not only for it to be one big place where you can see any podcast from any show, but also from a mutual standpoint with us getting to work with those other podcasts, because it's just awesome to be able to talk with them. We get to learn from each other. We get to help each other out going on each other's shows. It's just one huge community. And the thing only got announced a couple days ago officially. And I mean, we're already having so much fun with all these different collaborations and all that other stuff. So it's been great. I've been great. I've been absent from the show for a couple of weeks, been a little busy, but I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. And also, I know Coach Elliott has actually reached out to me personally. And so I will be speaking with opponents throughout the year's podcasts for a little inside information for Coach Elliott. So Coach Elliott, if you're out there, just give me a ring. We'll bring you on. We'd love to have you, but we are excited. What's that?
Check your email.
Check your email, Coach Elliott.
Don't look for a subject, though.
Don't expect a subject. But we are excited to have you all tonight. So the last time Jay was talking, it was just Jay and Jack and I are coming back from vacation, and there was a little piece of business that Jay, have we heard anything yet from our winner?
We have not, and I need to repost again. I put it out on X, and I don't know if I put it on Facebook. Maybe I need to put it on the Cavalier Connection Facebook, because I have not had anybody reach out. But we certainly want to hear from the winner of the bracket challenge. And that person was, if you give me a second.
It's Brew Good Beers Picks 1.
Okay. Brew Good Beer Picks 1.
Yep. He had Connecticut beating Purdue. We actually had a tie.
That's insane. Yeah.
But there was the tiebreaker, and I think he was off by maybe 6 points or something on his total.
Yeah,
point.
His total was 143. And the other person's total was 148. And I don't remember what it finished at. I don't even remember the score of that game, but anyway, 143 was the closer total. So
if you're out there listening, reach out to us, Twitter, Facebook. And we'd love to get you your prize, and we were hoping we'd have you on tonight. Tonight we got some exciting things to discuss. We'll talk about the basketball transfer portal, and maybe a little spring football talk. This past week we learned that Leon Bond has entered the portal. You know, we look over, you know, when the season came to an end, and the rumor mills out there were saying there was going to be multiple folks looking like they were going to enter the portal. And then it was just dead silence. We didn't hear anything. And finally, last week, it broke. Leon Bond has entered the portal. What do you think on that one, Jake? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Well, you know, unfortunately for him, I think it was just a bad fit. You know, I liked Leon Vaughn a lot. I think he brought a lot to the table for the team. But unfortunately, you know, in today's game, if you don't shoot the three well, he's like a classic tweener. You know, I think he was listed at 6'5". He was too small to play down low, and just wasn't a good enough shooter when it comes down to it, to play out on the wing. And I think he'll find a home that'll be glad to have him. You know, if you had a team that was, you know, I think a team, and I'm not connecting him to this team. I'm just thinking about stylistically, a team like VCU that likes to, you know, bring that havoc. His athleticism could be highlighted in a system like that. Whereas at Virginia, you know, we're a possession-based team. We're going to pound you with screens and run you to death off of those screens, and then shoot some threes. And you know, unfortunately, he just didn't fit. But it does free up a scholarship, which we need, because I think we have a lot of guys on the roster right now that aren't at the level that we need them to be at, realistically, to compete at the level we're accustomed to competing at. And if they all stay, which it's looking like they are, we better hit home runs on the 2 scholarships that we have. So I will say Reese Beekman still has not officially done anything, which, you know, on the solo pod, I brought that up of, you know, he does have the opportunity, if he chose, to come back for that 5th year. And if you dig deep into your pockets, could you convince him that, you know, the second round will be waiting for you next year, Reese? Come back and we'll pay you more.
Unfortunately, I was hoping I was going to come on here tonight and have breaking news that, you know, somebody backed the armored truck up to his dorm. And just, you know, the dump truck rose up in the back and money just came flying out. Come on back. But it's not looking that way. So Jack, you got any thoughts on the transfer portal?
Yeah, I actually loved Leon Bond for that reason that Jay had said. Kind of like an old school guy. I like that kind of basketball that he played, hitting those mid-range jumpers. He had some good defense too. But again, I mean, to keep up with today's game at that kind of level, it's just not going to work out for him. It's not a great fit. But I enjoyed watching him. I kind of wish he got a little more playing time there throughout the season, because after the first little bit of the season, I mean, he really didn't touch the floor at all unless we were killing the team, which wasn't very often. So
more like we were getting killed, Jack.
Yeah, right. more like the other way around. So I would have liked to see him more, but it doesn't always work out that way. He's not like a Casey Morcell for me. I wish him the best. I'd like to see him succeed somewhere else. I like him. I kind of wasn't expecting him, of all people, to be honest. He seemed like he was really faithful to UVA, but it turned out he wasn't. But I wish him the best. I hope he performs well. It just didn't work out. And as far as Reese Beekman goes, I mean, it's not official. So, I mean, you got to think that there's that one little voice in his head that's like, man, I would love to not have ended on a play and loss like that. I want to get one more chance. So who knows? We'll see.
If you're tuned in tonight and you got a little bit of money, you get it started. Let's get the campaign of bring Beekman back. Let's get him some money. I've got a 5 or a 10 I can throw in there. Yeah, you know, Leon Bond, his style just didn't fit Virginia. I would have liked to have seen him play more, because the season offensively was such a struggle that I didn't think we had anything to lose. I mean, and I'm definitely not comparing him to DeMar DeRozan, but he's got that style of that.
He's got that
game.
style to him. Absolutely.
Find his way to find his spot inside the 3-point circle, a 15, 18, 16-foot jump shot. And when you need a basket, we just needed baskets this year, and we didn't get them.
Early in the year, he was reminding me of Courtney Alexander. If you remember,
I remember Courtney.
he would pull up from that elbow and was just deadly his first year at Virginia.
Courtney was so athletic. Their frames were a little bit different, but that Courtney Alexander, good Lord, and he could really get up off the ground and jump.
But he was a mid-range shooter. That's what Bond is.
Yep. But that game is dead now. It's three.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I wish we talked about this, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but just some kind of a post-up game would be nice. Purdue, and of course, if you're 7'4", and that makes a big difference too. But if you can get a big man who can go in there and get you buckets like that, and furthermore, even now this isn't a size thing, but I mean not a height thing, but DJ Burns at NC State, if you got somebody who's strong in there, who can force a double team to free up somebody for a three, but there was no double teams coming on Virginia. In fact, there were. They could double McNeely, they could double Beekman, and then just see what happens. And we know it showed what happened.
Right.
And my memory is terrible. I'm an old man, but you see all the pictures of Tony Bennett with DJ Burns when he was coming out of high school. DJ's packed down. They're where Bennett was recruiting him, and we had talked to the guys over at NC State podcast and was talking about and giving a story about DJ Burns at Winthrop. I don't want to spoil the story, but after games they don't have the facilities that an NC State has or Virginia has, and
ACC school in general.
And when the game was over, everything was closed, or the game or the practice or something. That the food halls or whatever you call it, mess hall, whatever. And so, I mean, the man was hungry.
Yeah.
But
he found that cheeseburger. I'll spoil it.
He didn't miss a meal. He's put a lot of weight on. He put a lot of weight on in that time since Bennett recruited him. There's no question. If you look at the pictures.
Oh yeah. The pictures.
We need Blake Buchanan to go speak to DJ Burns' dietitian.
Can we get him to just borrow the NC State facilities when it comes to that, and then come back to Virginia to play?
Oh,
I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, Buchanan. This is a little off topic. If we can get him to hit that weight, and I know he will, to build some more size, he could. I still am a believer in Blake Buchanan. I think he can definitely be an effective piece in the coming years. He just needs to get stronger and not be afraid to get physical. And I think he's going to be all right in the ACC, as long as he stays, of course.
My supervisor was talking about him, and he said he could see him producing like a Middlebrooks or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good comp.
Right. Yeah. But speaking of, I know we were in the portal, but real quick, we mentioned DJ Burns. So I did want to speak real quick about the NCAA tournament, how that one turned out since last week. I know Jack, we did make some picks, and Jack was 0-2. This went exactly as our NFL season went. Jay was 2-0. Jay was who's the prophet guy on Seinfeld? Who was always profiting? Kramer. I don't remember, but I'm always break even Jerry. Jack, he's George. The 20 goes out. He ain't getting it back. 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2. But Purdue was just a bit too much for NC State, and then Connecticut. I felt like that was the easiest money. Was Connecticut winning that national title, and that 6.5 points, I think it was.
Yep, it was 6.5.
title game.
Yep.
I mean, Connecticut, I mean, obviously they proved to be an outstanding team, and they just dominated that championship game. I mean, I just truly thought. I mean, I'll give you my thoughts. I just thought it's not very often that the number one overall seed wins it all, and so you got to see something new. Plus, up until before that national championship game, teams that lose to a 16 seed and play in the tournament the next year have 100% win percentage in the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
in
good
that
point.
season. So I had to go with the numbers. 100%. You can't get much better than that. But
Yeah,
But you saw
I had the same champion.
You saw Danny Hurley said that their wake up call. Do you see what he said? His quote,
yeah.
the wake up call that they scrimmaged Virginia and Virginia. He said Virginia. What do you say? They whipped their tail.
Yeah, Virginia tore them up in the second half.
Right.
I think they said they outscored them by 16 in the second half or something. It was ridiculous.
Danny Hurley coached to Danny Hurley coaches like the whole world's against him all the time. He's got always they're getting screwed with this, getting screwed with that. And
how do you think those scrimmages go with him and Bennett? You know, because they're polar opposites.
Two different, like completely different people.
Yeah, and you would think for a scrimmage you would schedule like your friend, or you would somebody who's had that in the coaching profession, with similar beliefs, values, things like that, and give you a good scrimmage, work you out. No,
and I'm here to tell you, Jay Ballard of the Cavalier Connection. If we've done comps of like programs, and I just did a comp of Middlebrooks and maybe Buchanan. I've got another comp for everybody: Jay Ballard and Danny Hurley. Jay Ballard is I've gotten screwed everywhere you turn. He's my best comp point.
I mean, do we got to release
Does that mean
a video? Not even a video.
What's that?
I mean,
does that mean I get to win back-to-back championships?
It probably does. Jay Ballard.
I mean, do we need to release an audio file of him playing Golf Plus on the VR headset? Hear what he has to say every time he has a bad shot.
Oh gosh.
And not to mention, it won't be a bad shot. It'll be a good shot. Oh my God, that was an awful shot. Can't get nothing to go for me.
I mean, you see Danny Hurley when they had issues getting to Arizona with the flight, and it's like this is purposeful,
right?
It's like
you gotta have that chip on your shoulder, whatever it takes.
The chip on the shoulder is huge. It really is. It's like Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan. People thought you were great. Didn't nobody, the stuff that he would say, like somebody's done said, are you kidding me? Like, Jordan, get out of here, dude.
He's still bringing up his JV coach that cut him at his Hall of Fame.
At his Hall of Fame speech. So Jay, it's not a shot at you. I
consider that a compliment.
It makes you a successful person. It just makes me think about you though when I hear it. Always like, I got screwed on this, I got screwed on that deal. Wow, Jay done hit 7 threes in a row in the basketball game. Like, wow, ref ain't giving me a call tonight, or he'll find something negative. He'll find something negative to come back with. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. You'd have won by 30. Instead, Virginia's
not making that kick. They're not making the free throws. we can't buy a field goal.
No. I'm going to say this, Jack.
The free throws,
the free throws were this year. I was a glass half.
I wouldn't put my last penny on them making a free throw this year.
I think that we've watched enough of these games. You just have those gut feelings, and you just know.
To be fair though, I think every other fan base in any other sport in America is the same way. It's not just Virginia. They're like, we're going to miss this free throw. But they stay pessimistic in that way. If something good happens, it surprises them. And,
Yeah. Well, back to the portal, we have a visitor coming this weekend, Joshua Jefferson. He's out of Mount St. Mary's School.
St. Mary's. I don't think it's Mount St. Mary's.
There's two of them. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
6'8" power forward, average. This is every year thing for Virginia in the transfer portal. You get Gardner, you get Minor, and now we don't know if we're getting Jefferson. But
Ben
it's
Vanderplas.
very similar frame, 6'8", 200, I think 20 pounds or so. Average 10 a game, 6.5 rebounds. And what's your thoughts on this one, Jay?
So my first thought is I think it means that Coach Bennett probably knows that Ryan Dunn is probably not going to come back.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a safe
if Dunn,
assumption.
I think if Dunn was going to return, you would probably be looking for more of a even bigger player, a post presence. But you 6'8", long 6'8", can play in today's game anywhere. He's not a 6'8" like Gardner, who really could only play the post at and I think he was only 6'7", but he was more of a small post player, whereas Jefferson, I think, is more of a athletic, run the floor, 3-4 slasher type. Not a good 3-point shooter. I think I saw where he was in the high 20s last year, 26% maybe. Which I would love to see that number higher. Because today's game is all about shooting the three or getting dunks. Now, he might help you with getting some dunks, but we don't play the transition game a whole lot. So,
Really?
yeah, I mean, how much he would help. Obviously, he'll help on the defensive end, but will he help us on the offensive end? Maybe he's a 6 or 8 point a game scorer, but where else are you going to get offense with the current roster?
So also, I don't know if you've seen the guard Trent Perry out of USC.
Yeah.
Virginia was recruiting him, and I guess when they signed Christian Bliss. I guess and he ended up at USC, but of course he's back in the portal too, and they're talking about I think he's a 4-star recruit. Virginia, he's heard from Virginia, from Tony Bennett, so as a potential replacement. You got Christian Bliss, who redshirted this year. But have you seen the video of Robinson?
Robinson looks like a monster. I mean,
does. And he's 6 foot. He's 6'10"? 6'11"?
6'10".
There's some videos coming out on him. Like, it's nice to see somebody who, he redshirted last year. So hopefully there's some surprises coming our way. And to be able to practice with the team the whole season, hit that weight room, and that dude looks like a freak.
Yeah, he really does. Of course, not having seen him play,
right?
You feel like if he was if he was advanced at all offensively, he would have been on the court last year.
Well, you would think so, but there's some guys we thought were advanced that didn't. They were on the roster and couldn't get on the floor either. Bennett's style.
I mean,
yeah.
So next year you're basically looking, though, if you don't add anybody, at him and Buchanan, right? And
right,
yeah.
Would it be nice though if we could play to both of them, get that kind of size out there?
Yeah.
So
really?
the dude from Indiana State entered the portal. I don't know if he's.
I saw that.
I think they call him Creamy Abdul Jabbar.
Right.
But I don't know if Virginia's even contacting him.
And
but he would fit us. He would be a good fit.
Right. And that reminds me, Abdul Rahim's back in the portal again.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he's a fit.
Oh no, he's not coming back to Virginia.
Yeah.
Like that. It's just place to place.
Now,
and then,
is Milicic still in the portal?
He is. I was getting ready to bring him up too. He was a potential fit, but I don't know if Virginia ever reached out to him.
They did. There was a report that he was on grounds for a visit. I think unofficially.
Right.
Last week, maybe week before even. And you would have thought if he was on the grounds, if I'm Tony Bennett, I'm not letting him leave without some type of I want a commitment from him because he really fit the mold for exactly what we needed.
Yeah,
6'10", could shoot the
right.
three, pretty good passer too. He already knows the defense that's expected.
Right.
He obviously knows Sanchez and likes him because he went to play for him when he left Virginia. So a lot of good a lot of good ties there. It would just make a lot of sense.
Right.
So hopefully, I hope that he is the one that we end up getting with one of those 2 scholarships.
But then there's also the guy out of Harvard. I don't know that he would fit our mold. I keep seeing his name popping up on our feed. I forget the name now. He's another guard.
I don't think he's a fit
scoring guard.
stylistically. He was more of a shooting,
Shoot
like
it
a
quick.
shooter, mass.
Right.
Now
I think he averaged 20 a game.
He shoots a ton.
Right.
He's a volume shooter. That's what I'm going for. He's a volume shooter.
Right. Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely if Dunn says he's going pro, that opens up another spot in the portal.
Jeff, before we go any further, I think we've got, quite a few people watching.
Yep.
If you're out there and you have any comments or questions for us on anything, whether it be the portal or football, basketball, baseball, whatever, feel free to chime in with a comment, and we'll do our best to answer any questions from you. And we appreciate you coming on with us live tonight.
We love interacting.
Yeah, no doubt. So we've discussed the portal, and one thing that we were concerned about in the portal was Elijah Gertrude. We were concerned that Mr. Gertrude may leave after last season, and he announced, well, our friend over at the Good Feet store put something on Twitter which let us know that he's coming back, and so that's pretty exciting news.
Yeah,
glad to have him.
So I thought that we were going to have a mass exodus after the season. I thought 3 to 4 people were out, and so far it just hasn't happened. But
we could still get there. I'm not sure. I just think about, you always hear Tony Bennett is brutally honest, and that is why Leon Bond transferred, was because in his meeting with Coach Bennett, I think it was pretty much laid out that, look, I'm not sure the path to your playing time is going to be best here.
Right.
I don't think Coach Bennett would ever say you need to transfer.
Right.
But I think he's brutally honest to say, I just don't know that your path is going to be best here. And so I don't know how you see a guy. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a path for Dante Harris to be relevant on this team. Christian Bliss is going to, take over the Beekman role, you would assume.
What about Sharma?
He's a 3-point banger, man. He made 10 threes in a game earlier this year.
He comes in this year, right?
24? He does. Yep.
I mean, that's the Canadian high school basketball player of the year. The whole country.
Yeah.
The whole country.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Canada
people might not realize that Canada puts out a lot of talent in basketball.
They do.
A whole lot of talent.
I mean, there's some stars in the NBA that are from Canada.
Absolutely.
That's Canadian high school player of the year. I like. I mean, listen, I like that accolade coming to Charlottesville.
Absolutely. And he's a big guard. He's not a small kid.
Yes.
So, and Bliss is a bigger guard. Bliss is 6'4".
I was gonna say I thought he was tall. I wasn't even sure if he went taller than that, but I knew he was a taller guard. But Sharma as a sharpshooter, I'd like to think we'll see. Yeah, he's a 3-star recruit. and I don't know all what programs recruited him, but we need some sharpshooters.
I was gonna say,
McNeely
if
needs
nothing else,
Yeah, take some weight off of McNeely's shoulders.
that's
yes,
exactly what I was gonna say, Jack. If nothing else, put him on the floor with McNeely so
yes,
that they can't just sag off of everybody.
yes. You need a couple sharpshooters. With what was on the floor, Beekman, and he probably shot better this year from three than maybe his whole career. But I mean, what was it, 38% or something like that?
Yeah,
Like that, yeah.
So they were more concerned about Beekman getting to the basket. And when you only have that one sharpshooter out there, sometimes Groves got going, but he was not consistent enough. How big is Sharma?
he's I think
Do you know?
6'5" or 6.
6'5".
Big
Yeah,
enough that he should be able to get his shot off.
right, right.
I mean, anything, and you can't recreate this by any means. You can't, but just anything like we saw the key to success, maybe not key, but some success with that 2019 team. Guys like Kyle Guy. I mean, we haven't had a guy that can score like that. No pun intended.
Well,
We
I
haven't
think
had a guy that can score like that, like Kyle Guy, since then.
I think
If we could just
McNeely is your comp.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
but he's
What you
not
don't really
United
have
close
is
to
the
the
Ty
same level.
Jerome.
And
Yes.
you
think you
also,
have the Kyle
I was
Guy.
ready to say, you
You
don't have
the Ty
Kyle Guy.
Jerome.
You don't have Ty Jerome.
You don't
I
have
mean,
Diakite. You don't have Jay Huff. There's a lot. I mean, you
DeAndre.
don't have DeAndre Hunter. You
Yeah.
pretty much only have the comp to Guy.
Yeah,
in
like
my
if we
opinion.
could just, I mean, we struggled so bad offensively this year. I mean, Sharma, hopefully he can just bring a spark and work with IMAC, and let's just get a game where we go on some 12-0 run. We got threes dropping all over the place from Sharma, from IMAC, timeout the other side. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, it'll come against North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the season always starts. We got high hopes to wait when we play some of those.
Yeah, and then we play the
lesser
ACC
opponents.
schools, and it's a brutal.
But and you say that, Jack. You say that, and really, what I mean is offensively, because we still find ways to beat those ACC schools. We still finished third in the ACC this year. We just offensively, we just don't have enough.
We make it scary.
The challenge is going to be, like, honestly, not knowing what the rest of the roster will look like, but just off of what we know right now, this will be Coach Bennett's most challenging year since his first year, I would say, at competing. Because I don't see the talent. You lost, assuming Beekman goes, which I think we all assume he is, assuming Dunn goes. I mean, unless you bring in some true, like, transfer portal, like, top guys, how do you compete?
Right.
I mean,
and you just have to
I don't
hope.
get it. I don't know. I don't
You
see
have
it.
to hope that the red shirt guys come in and produce. I mean, DeAndre Hunter. And this I don't see this anyway, but you never know. DeAndre Hunter was a red shirt and came out and produced. So, but those are few and far between. So, I don't know. Real quick, before we continue, and folks, if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. I did want to mention, I wanted to go back to the college huddle thing. So we have joined up with the College Huddle, and you can find some of our stuff on the collegehuddle.com. We have our resident writer, Jay Ballard, who is he's produced 2 well-written articles on the collegehuddle.com. And I did want to talk about one of them here in a minute. But also, we are also going to be your host for the College Huddle's ACC Huddle. So there are also every Friday we will be putting out an episode of the ACC Huddle where we're going to cover all things ACC while the ACC still exists. I can speak for us. I believe that we are pro ACC. I don't want ACC to go anywhere, but writing appears to be on the wall. And so, but we don't know. But either way, as long as there's an ACC, we are going to host the ACC Huddle. And so
Not to be
excited to
confused with the
announce that.
TV show, of course. not
Excited
to be
to-
confused.
Excited to announce that. And actually, our first episode of the ACC Huddle will be premiering tomorrow night at 9:00. And we had a special guest from the Bull City Coordinators, which is the voice of the Duke Blue Devils for the College Huddle. Ben Bird joined us, and we will be playing our interview with him tomorrow night as well. And a little background on Ben is he's a practicing attorney, and he's wrapped up in this lawsuits between Clemson and the ACC and Florida State and the ACC. And when I say wrapped up, I don't mean he's actually a part of the case, but this is something he's following very closely. And so he's not only our resident Duke podcast representative of the College Huddle and our Duke friend, he's also going to be our resident attorney for this one. So you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy his take on this thing, because Jay and I interviewed him, and we interviewed him because we needed some assistance with this whole deal. So
yeah, we gave him the old Michael Scott explain a surplus to me like I'm a second grader.
Right. And it's very true for me. And Jay says second grader, I say kindergartner for myself. And as Jay says, we're UVA sports fans. We don't demonstrate what a UVA education would look like. If you are a smart, especially we're talking sports, if you're a smart, athletic, good athlete, we'd love to see you in Charlottesville at Virginia. Don't let our education and the way we talk prevent you from coming. Tyler Neville from Harvard, who is transferring into an even better university, UVA, tight end Tyler Neville. He joined us, and we had a good time. And so just because you talk to us, athletes, just because you talk to us, we're not going to dumb you up. You can make us a little bit smarter. So, but anyway, I got that out of the way because I did want to talk, go to collegehuddle.com, and Jay has written an article, and it's called 3 Games That Will Define the 2024 Virginia Football. I know we've got folks in here right now listening. I know you got comments and questions, and so we'd love to hear from you. So Jay picked out 3 games that he felt were highlighting things on the schedule. And Jay, I'll let you speak a little bit to your article. And I know your first one you talked about was Wake Forest, but just speak a little bit to your article if you would.
Yeah, so I'd like to, you want to break the season down and into it. It's just fun to think ahead and look ahead at what football is going to look like. It'll be here before you know it. And so, just want to kind of look at the season from we talked about the schedule and how it's so front loaded with games that you should win or have a chance to win. And then the back half of the schedule is super loaded with what should be more talented teams. And I think we know that this year the expectation and what we're all looking for is a bowl game. And to do that, you got to win 6 games. So where are you going to get your 6 wins looking at that schedule? And so I think we have a lot of swing games that could go either way. And so to me, I could have, I wanted to pick 3 games, a small sample size that I feel like define the season. Like and so I started with Wake Forest because we opened the year with Richmond. If you lose that game, you can throw this list out the window because it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
We expect to be 1-0. Wake Forest opens with North Carolina A&T, so they expect to be 1-0. This game will be played at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is bringing in a kid from Louisiana Tech to play quarterback. He's 24 years old. He's got a lot of starts under his belt. But they don't have a lot of offensive firepower. Last year they ranked 115th in scoring offense in the NCAA. So not a lot of scoring power there. I actually like this matchup a lot for Virginia. I think we match up well with them with what we do and what they do. Being your first road game of the season is always scary. How's the team going to travel? What's that going to look like? Every team's different. But last year, Tony's teams played, they played really well on the road. They took Louisville to the brink. They led Boston College.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina was our biggest win on the road.
Maryland, too.
Yeah, we played Maryland tough until the fourth quarter. I just thought that game, if you win that and you're 2-0 and you're coming home to face a Maryland team that is a very winnable game, in my opinion, now you're really building momentum to, okay, now you win the Maryland game. Maybe you're 3-0. Okay, and so then you're kind of building towards something. So that Carolina game comes at a really important time. It's in the middle or late October, and it's right in a stretch where we don't have Carolina's the only home game for over a month, and it comes right after the Clemson game, which I know is going to be a very emotional game for Tony, and there's got to be some deflection of him to the team. I think, that game will mean more to Tony. Unfortunately, right now, Virginia and Clemson's not really a fair fight. I don't think we match up well with them. They're just more athletic, bigger, stronger, faster. They're at home. That game, barring an upset, is probably not going to go our way and could get ugly, to be honest. But in the article, I basically said if we could be competitive in that game and really just come out of it healthy and have been competitive, feel good about yourself, you get Carolina coming in, and that game is going to be really important because after that, you go on the road for 2 at Pitt, at Notre Dame, and then, you're getting towards the end of the year. If you lose that one, you've probably lost the Clemson game. You would have lost the Carolina game. And now you're going on the road for 2. You're potentially looking at least a 4-game losing streak. And it really gets really hard to win 6 games when over the course of a 12-game season you have a 4-game losing streak. So, very important game. To me is like you're getting into like looking at it before the season ever starts, like must-win territory. And then I don't think you can have a list of must-win games or season-defining games outside of, without including Virginia Tech. They are the measuring stick for us right now, and Virginia could go into that game with 3 wins and everybody not feeling real good. But if they pulled that upset, it's a great season. I mean, not a great season, but it's a good season.
People are happy by the end of the season.
Right. You go into next year with a ton of momentum. You feel really good about yourself. And you've done something that you probably weren't going to be expected to do if you're at that point. So, or what I really project us, in my opinion, I think we're going to be sitting somewhere between. I wrote 4 and 6 wins. I really feel like we'll be at 5 or 6 at that point. I hope we're at 6 already when we go in, because if we're at 5 and we have to win to go to a bowl game, it's just more motivation for Virginia Tech. And I actually think Virginia Tech's a program that is unfortunately on the rise again. I kind of like what their coach has going there. Pry
Brent Pry.
Yeah, Pry's been doing. He's done some good things, and I don't know if you guys saw the rankings came out today for ACC quarterbacks.
I was going to mention that.
And Drones was at the top of the list. Calandria came in at 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was 10.
And I think that list is all. I think Calandria is better than that. I really do. But I also read a report that LSU has an offer out right now to Drones to transfer. And I don't know how official that is. But basically, money on the table. We want you. And that, could throw a whole wrench into the Virginia Tech scenario. Or, when you're playing at the last game of the year, injuries have taken their toll at that point. You don't know who's going to be on the field. You don't know what the situation is going to be. But anyway, I feel like Virginia Tech's always just a game that, we could be 11-0 going in. And if we lose that one, I'm not happy. So
Correct.
It's one of those games that it just means a lot to me and to everybody in the fan base, I think.
Yeah, no matter what, that's going to be an important game every year, no matter the circumstances.
Right. So,
yeah,
if you agree, some people have already commented on Twitter, Facebook, where posted it around. There was one particular Jeff. What does he call us, Jeff?
The booger picker.
Yeah, what booger picker wrote this article? So I guess I'm that booger picker right here that wrote the article. But
yeah, that's a funny comment. I couldn't even believe he said that what booger picker wrote this, and he put the poop emoji up there. Did he ever have anything else to say?
No, I asked why the negative opinion, because I'm just curious. I'm not a professional writer, so. I'm curious. Why do you think it is?
It's an opinion-based article.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to agree. In fact, and I didn't get the name of the person. We'd love for you to come on and debate this article with us.
Yeah,
we're here. Absolutely. We're here to debate. You don't have to agree with us.
No.
And Jay will debate you. Danny Hurley, Jay Ballard will debate you. So, and you're right there. We got LOL haters. That's the Knighted Ones podcast. This is another representative. Fellow.
Is that Central Florida? Is that Central Florida? I think if you can comment in, I want to say that's our Central Florida rep.
I think so. Yeah. The one thing about it is especially when you're as big as the Cavalier Connection is, and you're in the public limelight, people can comment. You're gonna have haters, but has to come a point where we got to turn the comments off, and we got to stop reading the comments.
They aren't all as friendly as the old ball coach that we love.
Right.
Oh man.
Faceless internet weasel.
Oh man.
Faceless internet weasels. That's a good one.
Sounds like a wrestling faction.
Yeah, I was wondering that when Jay was making the comment. He was saying Central Florida. I'm like, man, I don't know if I've ever heard someone in my life call it Central Florida, but
UCF. Jack. Jay is in his 50s, so he's gonna say things a little different.
You're older than me, Jack.
We do appreciate you coming on and checking us out tonight, and definitely folks, go take a listen to their podcast as well. If you go on the collegehuddle.com, all of our podcasts are up there, and you're going to get an opportunity to hear from all these different schools, but BYU's podcast, the Saturday, oh God, my mind just went blank.
Saturday Warriors.
Thank you. The Saturday Warriors. Jay and I were on the Saturday Warriors just earlier in the week. Go check them out. Us and Virginia Tech's, and now, man, oh man, I'm terrible. My mind's going blank.
Boundary Corner, Virginia
Boundary
Tech.
Corner. Of course, Virginia Tech. I try to put them out of my brain, but the Boundary Corner from Virginia Tech, Cavalier Connection, and the Saturday Warriors. We all came together and discussed the realignment. And as much as we hate on Virginia Tech, we enjoy our time with the Boundary Corners. Those guys are fun. So
yeah,
we want to beat the brakes off of them.
Really good.
We'd like to find a way to just beat them in football one time, and we want to beat them
and everything else.
And everything else. but those guys, give them a listen. You know, sometimes it's good to listen to your opponent and hear what they have to say. And
Well, they
but
say keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. So
closer. That's
Yeah.
you
right.
want to know what
That's
you want to know what's going on in Blacksburg. You know, they're your podcast to listen to.
That's right. USF uses South Florida because they are directionally challenged. Have to remind their fan base. Oh gosh, that's some funny stuff. But yeah, to go check it. But anyway, go on there. If you follow the College Huddle on X, go on YouTube, the College Huddle channel, and
There's a Discord channel as well, Jeff. So you can search the College Huddle on Discord, ACC. We have our own. You know, I'm not a Discord person, but we have our own like Discord. I guess it's called a Discord. I'm showing some age here. I guess.
Server.
Jack, are you a Discord
Server.
person?
Discord
Discorder? Is that what they're
in the
called?
Discord, but I'll join it soon. It's a Discord server.
Okay, well, hop in the Discord.
Oh, it's a big, great
server.
community. Anybody can join. Anybody can give their opinion. You can discuss stuff with the hosts themselves of whichever show you're joining, so the ACC Huddle. We'll be in there every now and then, and you can discuss with us your opinions. It's a great big community.
And I saw they had a watch party option. So, you know, maybe
so how that works is somebody can so say we're all like watching well, you know, you got to do it legally, but say we're watching something, you can make it where everybody joins a voice channel and you can have a big conversation, people are talking, and you can share your screen so everybody can watch something at the same time.
Okay.
I'll tell you this much. Last year during the Virginia Tech football game, I would not have enjoyed myself in that environment.
No.
But yeah, and
we wouldn't do that. I don't think we could do it for a Tech game, but you know, something like
maybe a Georgia Tech
I don't know,
game.
like a spring game or something like that. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Even a baseball game.
Yeah, but you go and follow the College Huddle on all of our sites, and you will probably run into us in some other places. And definitely go check out the Saturday Warrior. They've been really working hard, putting out episodes from getting opinions. I know they did one with the Hill brothers. I believe it came out today. You know, the Hill brothers, once again, it's terrible. The Hill brothers, the Tar Heels are rivals. Virginia Tech is a rival. And but I enjoy the guys who represent them. They're fun. They're fun to listen to.
I love those guys.
They're fun to interact with. And
I'm learning about Discord right now from our UCF Huddle member.
That's right.
As in the chat. So yeah, use voice chat. So yeah, forums with
voices. Yeah. But you'll run into us on the website, and then also, you know, resident writer Jay will be posting something, probably 3 to 4 articles a week.
Yeah.
But then you also add in the ACC Huddle on Friday nights. Hopefully we're going to have some great guests, and also the Cavalier Connection. The guests that are coming is coming, folks. You know, in May we have hopefully we'll have a couple, some mother son and mother daughter episodes with some current athletes, and I won't spoil any of that. But
you're big time.
They're big time. Yep.
This is not Jeff Lowe church basketball type of athlete. This is real athletes.
Yeah.
And so be looking forward to that. And as well as, you know, Jay and I love the past. And so some former UVA greats, and I mean greats. I've done some texting with some folks, and as Jay said, would you ever believe that this individual will you be texting with? And I said, absolutely not. When I was a kid, and you know, when I was texting with this specific individual, I had to go right ahead. This was a phone number. Had to go ahead and add that as a name to the contacts because I wanted to show Jay. Look at this number. So definitely there's
pretty wild.
some from
Big things in the
past
works.
and future and previous professional athletes, future professional athletes. UVA produces. So some definite exciting things. We already have a couple guests lined up for the next couple ACC huddles. So definitely something to follow. thecollegehuddle.com. Jay, Jack, what do y'all got? Y'all got anything else before we end this one tonight?
Jay?
No. Check us out live tomorrow night, 9:00. We'll be on 9:00 live on the ACC Huddle channel. And yeah, we're going to try to have a good show tomorrow night and talking about conference realignment.
I'm just reading UCF's the Knighted podcast. They just did the Wildcats 2.0. Arizona, you just unveiled the booger picker. Hide your keyboard. Jack,
Oh,
you got
man.
anything else for us?
Yeah, no, it's a great time as always. Extremely excited about this college huddle thing. Huge news for us. Helps us out big time. Helps the other people out big time. Going to be a great time working with them. So that's going to be great. Other than that, I mean, it's been a great podcast. Tune in to tomorrow night.
And so, yep, tomorrow night, the ACC huddle, 9:00 start time. We are going to be live. And also we have, as I said, we'll be playing our interview with the Bull City coordinators, Ben Bird, to discuss the lawsuit. So definitely, if you would like to hear from the perspective of an attorney or a Duke person, definitely tune in. And we'll have some other conversations of some other things going on in the world of the ACC. Last thing I'll say, UVA baseball still rolling, softball rolling, lacrosse rolling, spring game April 20th for football. There's a lot going on. And other than that, go Hoos.
Go Hoos.